Well, welcome back to the Liverpool 12th Man Show, where we don't just follow the game, we dissect it, or at least I'm going to try to dissect it for you guys today. And we're putting the spotlight on what really drives every team, a midfield. And we're ranking the top 10 Premier League midfields heading into the 25-26 season, not just based on exactly what they did last year, because obviously a lot of the dynamics have changed this year. We've seen a lot of different teams take on new players and put in a lot of different schemes and have different folds for their players. So we're going to, give a little idea of what is my take on what I believe is the top 10. I have some questions, some polls, audience polls to put in there, so you can get your insight and get what you believe is the case for some of the rankings and for some of the players. And hopefully we have some good news at the end of this poll. But I just think that the midfield is a very important part of a team. It's usually the engine room of a team, whereas having played halfback in my role in my life, or midfielder in my life, left and right midfielders. We call them left halfback or right halfback here in the States. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're expected to be obviously involved offensively, and it's expected to be involved defensively. You possibly are going to have the most pitch covered as a midfielder, and it is certainly not something not for the faint at heart when it comes to trying to keep up with the level that you have to go through to make it all work. So shout out to Enzo and Caicedo. Big up, my brother. Definitely good to see you. Definitely hope that we see some content from you soon. I haven't seen any content lately, but hopefully you got some good episodes or something coming up for us. Hailing in from Thailand. Big up to John Conway. I see my brother. Definitely always a pleasure to see John. John's a longtime supporter and OG for the channel, along with Red Armchair Supporter. Good to see you too. Good to see you all in the chat. Look, Liverpool fans, my Reds, my fellow supporters, we've gotten great news in the case of looking at our midfield. Shout out to Red for Life too, by the way. Shout out to Red for Life. Hopefully you got my email. And our engine room has gone from rebuilding to world beating, I think. I remember there was, in essence, especially when we won the Champions League, then we won the Premier League in that pandemic year, there was a shout or an argument out there that we had one of the best midfields in the league. Well, we had basically a workhorse midfield, though. It wasn't really filled with players that were, coveted players that were looked at as being world class in the essence of some of the other players that you see today. Shout out to Cedric, by the way. Big up. Hope that you're doing well. And if you're at work, big up for tuning in. And it was a midfield. I don't know if you disagree out there, but I just think that our midfield, when it came to those 2019, 2020 years, it was definitely a engine for our team. However, it was a workhorse engine for our team. It was the one that went, it was almost like the coal miner, engine of our team, in the sense of they put on the hard hat and they went to work, and it sometimes got dirty. It wasn't always glitz and glam, but in the end, it was certainly a balance with Ginny, with obviously Henderson, with Fabinho, obviously. But even when you had the mixture of even like a Naby in there. You know, you mix it on Naby sometimes in there, something along those lines. You had a real blend of players that really worked for you. I just wanted to get in and say, let's do a deep dive into who I think, and also obviously who you think is a top 10 midfield groups, by the way, midfield groups in the Premier League. So I was going to say, let's begin this in the right way. So let me bring this in for you. It pains me to say this, but kicking things off at number 10, I have Manchester United. Now, I had Manchester United simply because they've got such good players that have pedigree, I guess you could say is the best word for it. It's a midfield built on experience. They have some players that have promise. Let's not get it twisted. And there's certainly a midfield that is full of uncertainty. Casemiro is a veteran, but he's certainly on the, long at tooth. He's aging like crazy. We all age, but I mean, he, in football terms, is definitely up there. You have your Kobe Manus, who is certainly the future, but even he apparently is expendable for this midfield for Manchester United, which is very interesting. Bruno Fernandes is trying not to get heartburn. Bruno Fernandes is certainly a talent, and obviously with the new link up of Bryan Mbeumo, they have a force, a really bona fide player in Bryan Mbeumo. But still unclear where their future lies, I think, because there's really the balance when it comes to their midfield is like sometimes you have like they call hero ball, when it comes to sometimes what you see from Bruno. It's a group in transition, certainly. I just don't understand it as well. On the screen, you can see there is the basically it is the I would say the the depth chart of Manchester United. Bruno, with Diallo, Ugarte is in that list. And I said Manu, Casemiro is in that list as well. Mason Mount, and even Collier. If you look at that list, yes, it looks like something of a good compiled list of some promising, if not good, players. Then you really take a deep look at how they play on the pitch, and it's just a scrambled mess sometimes. But even scrambled eggs sometimes, is a meal. So shout out to Norm, by the way. Shout out to Norm. Big up. So it's a really big question. I put some of the notes in the profile as to what I believe makes up the Manchester United front. I put in basically how I really don't know if they really make a formidable midfield that is going to be something they're on the cusp of being in the top 10 or easily falling out of the top 10 is my basic point. I wanted to put Brighton there. I know I'm giving a little bit of spoilers. I wanted to put Brighton there, but I just thought that maybe Manchester United edged them out in this list. I'm going to ask this here 1 second. I'm going to put this poll in here for you guys. And let me put it in here for you. I unfortunately got to make these polls on the fly, so you'll have to excuse me having to type them in. Right, and one last one. Whoops. All right. So this is my question. It's a good question, I think. I think it's a good question, at least. And that is Manchester United's midfield good enough to see them into the top 4? Now, not top 4 of this list. I mean the top 4. Is it a good enough engine to bring them back out of the woods, basically, which is where they're at with that 15th place finish last year, and bring them back into top 4 contention? I personally don't think so. I'm agreeing with Red Armchair Supporter, but you never know. I know that it could be the case where Amarin makes something of it and they really get it to going. Red Armchair Supporter says no to that question. Red for Life says no to that question as well. Bonker says no, the back line is still trash. I got you on that one. Okay. Long way off that level. Okay. I mean, it's really tough to say it out loud, because I think we all are in this chat. I think a good majority of us are Liverpool fans or Liverpool supporters. But let me just put this in here for the panel too, because some might be joining us. I might be solo today. I might have some guests joining me. So let's see what happens. But it's a good question, and I'll ask this: is Amarin's job then, since you're my for right now, the chat is my co-host? Is Amarin's job of retooling their midfield identity, would you say it's still undefined? And can Manu make the leap to being that's, we've had the freshman and then the sophomore, what do they call it? The sophomore jinx or something like that. And now, getting into this next year, can Manu make the leap, or will United be back in the market by January trying to find a viable player for their midfield, especially since Eriksen has left the team and is no longer an option? I'm going to see what you guys have to say about that. Red Armchair Supporter says they're long way off that level. He says they have a dodgy keeper. Very interesting too. They're trying to, I don't know if you've seen these rumors or not. Apparently they are trying to get Martinez from Villa on loan. That would say a lot, obviously, to Onana. I don't think that you would petition to get Martinez if you don't basically guarantee him a starting position with Manchester United. I think Martinez looks at it as being an opportunity to be a part of the juggernaut, or the juggernaut that is Manchester United. Again, hate to say it, but Manchester United, obviously one of the biggest teams in the world. Red Armchair Supporter also says too many toxic players in their squad. Yeah, big step down for Martinez. I think it would be. I think that I agree with Red Armchair Support. I think it's a big step down, and I don't understand, other than the clout that comes with playing for, having said you played with Manchester United, you can put that in your CV or your resume, saying that, look, I'm a top-notch football player because I get to put my name with other the other greats that have come through Manchester United's history. However, do you want to be that basic goalkeeper that has a more than shaky, squeaky at best front line or back line in front of you? Again, a front line that struggles, and I mean struggles, to score. If you guys think that Nunez had a bad year, look at it this way: he outscored both of the United starting strikers last year, and that says a lot, at least to me. Red for Life is saying they need a complete overall. Brian Mbeumo and Cunha are both impressive signings, but it's not enough. I agree. I guess you could put Cunha in this role if he's going to play a 10. I am including cams or 10s as a part of the midfield in this retribute. So if that's the case, okay. Let's see. They're not in Europe. I think that's going to, truthfully, Red Armchair Supporter, I think that the fact that they're not in Europe is going to be a major benefit, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a major benefit for them in not having to worry about, European competitions, only having to worry about, obviously, League Cup and FA Cup competitions when it comes to hand, but not having to worry about the fact of they only have one game a week for quite a bit of the season. They'll have one game a week. So big up. I got
hey, bro.
Friend in the house. Big up. How are you doing, brother? How you doing,
I'm
JK?
all good, bro. What you saying? Are you good?
Yeah.
Well, bro.
I got to put my camera off for 1 second. Doing very well. Going over to United. Look at this. Look at what I put as the United points. Do you have anything to add to what I've said about United, or would you even have them in your top 10?
So I'll read. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, overpaid, overrated.
That's why I did put that there.
Yeah.
I did put that there. I did put that there. They are certainly, in my opinion, overpaid, overrated, old. I got the 3 O's in there. And unfortunately, number 10, though, in my list. So, I mean, let me hear what you got to say, though.
I would say out of that whole midfield there, Bruno Fernandes is the only one I'll probably take. And that's just about. He does pretty well.
I like Manu. Manu, I don't know. He's fallen off a little bit. Maybe he was.
Yeah,
I think he was all
overrated.
hype. You think he's overrated? Okay.
Yeah. That's what happens in England. You play 3-4 top games. England's each other bee's knees,
Yeah.
Come on, man. He was a starter in the Euros.
Yeah.
Come on. But they got to the final.
Yeah. I mean, he's an FA Cup winner. You can say that much. Helped them get to. I don't think though he was a part of. He helped them get there, but I don't think he was a part of that final. Actually, I think he got hurt right before that final. Say, maybe I might be wrong. I might be remembering it wrong. But yeah, I don't know. Like my poll question. Let me bring up the poll question again, because I did ask the poll question of: is Manchester United midfield good enough for top? For Europe, to get back into Europe, basically. And what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that they're good enough to get back to Europe with this midfield? It was hands down no, as in my chat. Easily, everyone said no on the chat. What do you think, JK? Can they get back into Europe? I think JK is dealing. I think Smokey is his dog. Smokey is maybe calling for JK's assistance on something. All right. Well, wait. He left me a message too. Okay, so I'll be right back. Yeah, I think that's the case. Well, let's get into number 9 then, people. Let's get into number 9, and we'll play it this way. Who would be your number 9? Tell me in the chat before I reveal mine. Who would be your number 9? And then tell me in the chat who's your number 9 if you're making your own list. And I will reveal my number 9. Because I honestly think that the number 9 that I have, again, I think the number 10 and number 9 in my list we're like holding on to the ledge, basically, holding on to the ledge of being in the top 10. They were certainly holding on to the ledge. Let me see if I can. I'll see if some of you guys have someone for me. Anyone willing to guess who the number 9 is? Or you can guess who I think is number 9, or you can either tell me who your number 9 is. But Brighton, it's a good shout. I had Brighton originally. I had Brighton in my top 10. Bonkers. I did have Brighton in my top 10. I mean, Baleba is a shout. Refer Life says Brighton too. Yeah, I had them in my top 10. And then I had them at 10, to be honest with you. And then I bumped them out to put Manchester United in. It sounds so sacrilegious, but I didn't do that. shout out to Nolante joining us. Wagwan. You good, my brother?
Well done, brother. You're cool, brethren. You're cool.
Yeah. Cool run-ins. Fulham's a shout too. I don't know if there are some good players in Fulham. I didn't think that Fulham I don't think that Fulham would make the top 10 technically, but they're not number 9. I don't know if I'm not going to give away the list. So let's just get into it. My number 9 was Bournemouth. Now, I don't know if that differs with you out there in the chat. Tell me if it does. But I just thought Kluivert had a really, you could argue, breakout year. I know that he suffered a little bit towards the end. He kind of fell off a little bit in his production. But Bournemouth in general, I thought, has a good core of players. I wish Tyler Adams could have remained healthier than he did. But I think that Alex Scott played well. I thought that Adams as an anchor was a very viable anchor. I thought that Billings adds size, adds aerial threat to their midfield. As a 4-2-3-1 build up and direct play, I thought that Bournemouth was decent this year, primarily because of their midfield. Nolante, do you think that they deserve to be at number 9, or did you think would you not have Bournemouth in your top 10?
Bournemouth. That's a difficult one. You know what? No. I think they could just about top 10-ish. Yeah. They could go. Very underrated midfield. I mean, if you're talking about Kluivert, the main one, and then like Lewis Cook is very good. We were linked with him a couple of years ago. You know, obviously your boy, USA, Tyler. And then Alex Scott.
Represent.
Representing you know, put that flag, you know. So I know. Shout out to your boy Tyler, you know, from the west side of California. But no, I'm joking. I don't know where he resonates, Tyler. But and then you got Alex Scott.
You can say this much: he is American born. So how about that?
Yeah.
Because I know that every time I bring up Jedi, you know, Dara or something out there going, "Oh, he was born in England," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Listen, he's American, man. Listen, man. Look, man. I don't see him. I don't see him as you know. I don't see him as English. But yeah, if you want to get technical with it, you know, when you get technical, political, you know, a little bit technical, technicalities, passport, and all that. Yeah, it's, you know, just FYI, Jedi has an American passport.
I think Bournemouth's midfield is underrated, and as I put, very industrious. How about that? I don't know how else to put it. Like I just thought that Bournemouth, they're quietly dangerous. You know, Tyler Adams brings bite to their midfield. Scott brings some vision, I believe. I think he's actually been pretty productive in that sense. I think Lewis Cook brings it all together as their glue. They don't make super headlines, but I think that's exactly what I was referencing with our midfield from the 2019s, 2020s, as in they're not necessarily the headline making midfield, but they're such a solid group that they do what they're supposed to do, and that is not break down and allow for teams to just run through their team, basically. I would say too, would you go as far as to say this is the most underrated midfield in the league? And could Alex Scott break out into stardom this season? Do you think that Alex Scott has the potential to be a star in the league? I'll ask that to the chat too. I don't know if I know we've watched a little bit of Bournemouth, considering that we've been, connected to so many other players and the likes. What do you think? What do you think? I'll ask. I don't know if JK's back yet with us. So, Milante, if you could do us the favor of answering that question, that'd be cool too. Hopefully these guys are with me. I don't know if they are. I'll get you guys an audience poll too, by the way, because that's just the type of guy I am. Keep you guys interactive with this, but just give me a second. I have to manually make it a part of the chat. All right. I'll ask you this then. While I wait to see, or Nolante, if you're back, would you go as far as to say this is one of the most underrated midfields in the league?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and real quick, the second question, part of that question is, do you think that Alex Scott could break into being a star this season?
potentially. He has a bit of a old school. He's got a bit of a, again, for viewers, depending on age, if you know, he's got a little bit of a Laetitia about him. He's got a little bit of the Jack Grealishes about him. Saying he's very technical, very good at the ball, can carry the ball forward. So yeah, potentially. Potentially he could do something this season. I think he's a good player. He's definitely one to watch.
Okay. Do you think he's Liverpool worthy, or like Liverpool level, or no?
Oh, probably not. I think, Liverpool level, no. I think he's below, but no. I think we just ramped back. I mean, the player you probably concede would go up against him, player to play, would be Harvey. So yeah.
Okay. Tyler Adams, to me, this is just someone that watches play for United, for U.S. men's national team, and also obviously I do watch Bournemouth play simply because he's on the team. He's got a bit of dog in him, and he is a scrappy player. So I can understand why Red Armchair Supporter and Bonkers are saying that he's possibly the most important midfielder on their team, because he definitely is kind of like the enforcer, I would say, for their squad. All right. Moving right along. Let's get into that number 8 spot. And number 8, JK, who would you have as your number 8 if you're throwing in a name for a team?
Maybe a West Ham.
Oh, West Ham. Good shout too. The only reason why I didn't put West Ham at number 8 was because they lost some really big. Yeah, they lost some big names, a part of their list. That was the reason why I was like, looking at their, and they didn't replace them with anyone that was necessarily Arsenal at number 8. That would be great. I'm sure I would never hear the end of that. Here's who I had at number 8, and tell me if you think that it's spot on, or if you think it's if you think you wouldn't even have him higher, maybe lower. All right, number 8, I have Nottingham Forest. I think they're a chaotic blend of athleticism and flair. I think that at least last year, or with their team, Danilo and Sangare can run for days. I think Gibbs White is a really viable player for them. I think Gibbs White, basically he's the creative heartbeat for their team. I think he makes a difference if he is going to be moved on to another squad, like as in your Spurs or something like that. It's going to massively impact this team, this midfield, and possibly even, I would say, pushes Forest out of the top 10 for midfields. But Dominguez, Yates are at depth. It's raw, but there's certainly something brewing there. Do you think that Gibbs White has played his way into the England squad if Forest stay mid-table or better? Do you think he can find himself as a viable option for England, Team England? JK?
No.
We have Brian in us too, by the way. Big up, Brian. I'll give you a proper introduction. JK,
yeah, just quickly, I would say he needs to have the same sort of season he had last to be mentioned in that squad conversation. For me, I reckon he's a good little midfielder, Fair play to him, he's done well. But think about it, the fees he cost Wolves when he first moved there, and then it was about 35, 40 million a while ago, Everyone was surprised that he was costing that, and he ended up going to Forest. It was weird, man. So, yeah, I think if he leaves Forest, then I think they're not going to be as good. He's that injured, isn't he?
Yeah. Big up, Brian. How are you doing today?
Cool, yeah, good. Yeah.
How'd your show go? I wasn't able to check it out, but I'll watch it on the replay for sure. How'd it go?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't ever recommend watching any of my shows on a replay.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Don't be
I mean, some people. I don't understand people that do it. I'm not saying. So I'm probably alienating a load of people there, but I mean, for me, live shows are live shows. I don't. Yeah, I like to interact with them or whatever. It's just I always find it really kind of interesting when people say, "Oh, watch your show back." I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, like all of it?" They're like, "Yeah, it's 4 hours long, dude." There's just people. Okay, I just find it very interesting. Not being able to kind of interact and have your comments or whatever, maybe that kind of stuff. So
sometimes it's just fun to just like listen, to sit back and have it on in the background.
Some people do.
And listen to
it. Yeah,
people
like normal, or people say, "Oh yeah, I was painting the shed, so I put it on the background or something." Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool, I get it." Yeah,
painting the shed. Yeah,
something like that, or doing the garden or something like that. It's okay, nice. It's it's nice to hear. But we had some K-Mac. We always have K-Mac on. Hopefully, usually he likes to drop some K-Mac bombas. I suppose
K-Mac bombas.
Yeah,
he has some K-Mac bombas.
Yeah. But no, it's good fun. But no, I think you're right. Look, if you're a team, Nuno, I mean, he's absolutely just nailed it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can kind of do all the thing that they do, but he's so good at second balls.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Gibbs White, you can go long, right? And Chris Wood can kind of knock it off. But Gibbs White is so good. He's got great technique. He can finish. We saw it against us. Finish from the archetypal Forest goal, basically.
I think we kind of struggled against their midfield,
big time, and I just think he's such but no, it's like you're saying. Right now, they're really kind of, but if you were to take him out of that midfield, it would definitely drop down, big time. Yeah.
I think it would push them out of. I don't think they would be top 10 without Morgan Gibbs.
Yeah, without him. Yeah, he really is kind of the main, the kind of him and Chris Wood basically. Without them, they wouldn't have been murdered. It sounds reductive to say it, but
Yeah.
Surprised
Yeah.
Man City didn't go. That was all the talk, was that Man City were going to buy him for 50 million. Is like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, but
Mhm.
no, he's still there.
Definitely. Oh, we got Lee in the house too. Big up, Lee. Got the scouts in the house. What's up?
Yeah, scouts in the house.
There you
Hey,
go.
Lee.
Looking for a mouse.
There you go. I'm gonna have to copyright that, trademark it or something. Scouts in the house or something. That's good. That's good. I like
You finally found something that worked.
There you go.
Yeah. Scouts in the house. That'll do. Stick with it.
That'll do, right?
Yeah.
I had them so right now we just moved into the 8. I'll just bring in the number 7 to see what you guys think. I had Tottenham as the number 7 spot. That's because I am counting Kulusevski in, because he's listed as a midfielder technically, even though I know he plays on the wing, but he is also listed as a midfielder for them. I think that if you look at their midfield, they have a very viable midfield. I mean, like, I know some people might not think of it that way. There might be some holes here or there for some players, but I think that their midfield has grown in stature. I just think Maddison was a revelation early in the season, not so much when he fell out of favor with Ange, but certainly early in the season, I remember it specifically because on my fantasy football league, and we're going to be trying to do that again this year, hopefully by the likes of JK. Maddison was grabbing me some points, especially with the ins and outs of Son and some other big name players. But then you have Basuma, you add Sarr. I think that brings them some real. I don't know if I want to use the word steel, because it's like maybe it's aluminum, but brings them some mobility at least. And with Bentancur returning, I think this unit is really capable and possibly ready to be relied on as something to push them forward. Is that something that you agree on? Would you have them at the number 7 spot? Would you have them higher or lower for yourself? Lee, tell us, since you're just joining us. Is this a reasonable position for them, or would you have them higher? Would you have them lower, or do they even make the list for you?
I think that's reasonable. 7th. I think they could possibly finish higher if they start well. Depends on the start of the season. But okay. I think they can definitely finish 7th. No doubt about that.
Okay.
I think playing in Champions League will help them as well, get them their minds back, sort of like where they're meant to be playing, because they were used to being in the Champions League for a number of years, unlike Arsenal. Tottenham, it was only last year they dropped out, but now they're back in it. Should give them a boost. New manager, a few new signings. Yeah, I can see 7th being easily achievable for Tottenham.
Okay.
It's a good fair shout from you, that, for them.
Okay. I'll ask Brian this question then. Is Maddison, when fit, one of the best English attacking midfielders in the league? Would you go as far as to say that? When fit, I understand he has problems staying fit. Take that portion out and just say, when fit, do you think that Maddison's one of the best English attacking midfielders in the league?
Sorry.
I know you don't like to talk about England. I get that. I'm sure.
No. I mean, no. Sorry,
okay.
I'm getting a couple of notifications here. Well, yeah, like you said it. Well, if you say to me, "Would you go so far as to say?" then I'm always like, "No, I wouldn't." But there aren't that many good ones, man. Maddison is a top player. I mean this in the best possible way. Maddison is a poor man's Bruno Fernandes.
Ooh.
Literally, he does
I'm
kind of
remember that one. That's
Bruno
a good shout.
Fernandes.
I never really thought about that. That's a good shout.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it's luxury player on his day.
Could you call him Fernandes without the teeth? Like,
Yeah,
it's got a
Yeah.
double meaning, like,
Okay.
yeah, but well, yeah, with the old dental NHS, yeah, but it's just, do you know what I mean? Though he's like a poor man's Bruno.
Yeah, he's
And
Bruno.
there's nothing.
He's Bruno without the rat tail. I get it.
Being a poor man's Bruno gets you a career in the Premier League as a top player, earning 20. You know, that's not a bad thing. You know,
to be fair to James,
I see him as a one-off kind of guy in a team where, as a manager, would I be 100% relying on him?
No.
I'm not sure.
No,
I'm not sure.
I think that's why. Don't you agree that that's probably why? I wish Ant was here to back this up. But I mean, isn't that possibly why Leicester basically made him expendable? Because he was certainly one of their better players.
Oh no, Leicester. No. He'll tell you they would have kept him all day. But he outgrew them.
Oh.
He basically outgrew them. So he was just too good. They knew he was going somewhere. It was just how much can you get from him, kind of thing.
So he basically left a Premier League winning team to go to a possibly never winning Premier League.
Well,
team.
no, he left. No, you say Premier League winning, but
that's
no, he left Leicester. He left that. No, it's just he's always been very Tottenham. Madison has always been very Tottenham. Kind of a flair player, doesn't like to work too hard. Isn't going to be, isn't shy or anything, but these days, you all have to do a bit of work. But just a bit of a flair. He was a very Tottenham kind of guy. But if you're in the trenches, away in a tough game, is Madison going to do it for you? Incredible right foot, set technique, 10 out of 10. But I think the reason he doesn't play, like, for a Barca or a Real Madrid or all that, is because he doesn't have those extra components, I don't think.
Well, I'll ask this too.
He pass the ball better as well as anybody. Pass the ball. Yeah.
No, and I think Kulusevski being included in this list that I had here.
That's fine. No, I'm cool with that. I think he's played in the middle. I've seen him play as a number 8 and number 10. So
yeah. I think that makes a major difference in being. So I think he's one of the most, he's one of the better players, certainly a star in our league here. But I'll ask this of JK, and then I'll ask Nolante the same question. So, who do you think is the best partner for Bissouma from that poll that I have on there?
Sarr for me.
Sarr, okay.
Double pivot. Sarr's not a bad player. Not a bad player. But I do like Benton Cure before he got injured.
Yeah. Talented player for sure. Talented player. All right. Nolante with us? I'll ask you. I'll give you the first question for the next team. How about that? So at number 6, I have Villa. I don't know if you guys heard earlier too. Before we even get into the midfield breakdown of it, Martinez to United on a loan. What is going on there? Why would Emery even like entertain that idea? I don't even understand that, by the way. I just wanted to read. So now that I have a full panel here, I just wanted to circle back to that comment that we were talking about earlier. I just don't get it. When I was talking about Manchester United, they were number 10. That's when we originally started talking about.
That's strange, that. Their backup goalie shit, fella, that Olsen. Don't rate him. He was crap when City won that final game to win the league 3-2.
Onana would be the backup, though, I think, in that case. There's no way that Martinez is going to opt to do a loan deal if he doesn't know he's going to be the starting keeper. His ego would not allow it.
Oh, yeah. He's probably been given, if it happens, he'd probably be given guarantees that he'd be the number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a high-priced goalkeeper in Onana, salary-wise, and also obviously, transfer price-wise, sitting on the bench. That would be wild. That'd be very wild. Very interesting. But at 6, I have Villa. I think McGinn, Tielemans, who I think had a very phenomenal year for himself. Den Donker, Kamara. I think Emery had a real, with the performances that they were giving him too. I think he had a real top-notch selection to choose every week. I think it does lack a true elite midfielder playmaker, unless you guys think otherwise. But they could be looked at as being an elite group, despite not having an elite player amongst them. Well, Nolante dropped out, so I'll ask this of you, Lee. Has Unai Emery maximized Villa's midfield, do you think?
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? He's done well to bring Onana in from Everton. He's got Tielemans playing well this season. He's got a few that obviously he's got like Rodgers, hasn't he? And he's got a few good midfielders. His defence might need a bit of work now. But I don't know about. I don't know why. He must have had a falling out with him, possibly, Emery and Martinez. The only thing I can think of. I don't think he'd change his mind on him like this over nothing, was he? Because he seems to be well installed as their number one. Maybe he thinks he can do better, and he's got somebody better lined up that he believes will be better. But it is a strange one if it happens.
Yeah.
I would never have predicted it. Yeah. Not in a million years. See what happens, right?
I'll ask this of JK. Do you think they are, I'm trying to think of how to properly verbalize it. Do you think that this midfield needs one marquee name to make it hit the next level?
I think the Rodgers lad, he was good last season. I think their midfield sound. I think it's a very good midfield. They've got a few good players in there. Even that lad, Scottish lad, he puts a shift in for him. John McGinn. You know what I mean? He didn't look like Brad Pitt, but yeah, he puts a shift in. But who else is there? And Onana lad from Everton, another good little player. So they've got good midfield.
Okay. I'm going to ask Brian this question then too, and I'll put it into the audience as well. Since Dara just joined us, I'll give him a poll question here. Brian, excuse me. If you had to choose, or if you could take one of these midfielders and bring him to Liverpool, which one of these midfielders would you bring to Liverpool, or would you just say, no, I'm all good, basically? Which midfielder would you take at Liverpool? Would it be McGinn? Would it be Kamara? Would it be Tielemans? Or would you say, no, I'm all good?
It would be unfair to just say none without just. I mean, McGinn is an incredible player if you need a John McGinn. Just superb. You know, he's a Milner. If you need a McGinn or a Milner, you probably can't do better. Just 100% commitment and has quality.
Yeah,
has real quality in his boots. You know, you don't make it at this level if you don't. Kamara,
very Milner, like in the sense of
exactly. A Milner, a Robbo in midfield. I mean, just real under a Kamara. Rock solid, rock solid. Definitely, you know, not a needle mover. Tielemans, no.
That's Dara's choice.
No.
Yeah, I thought about Tielemans when he was available from Leicester. I thought, should we go for him? But I'm not. No, I think it was best that we didn't. He's a decent player, but maybe not Liverpool grade.
Exactly. It's
the
in and out with Yuri.
Maybe like a few years ago we just signed him, like 10 years ago or something, but not now.
What's the reason why you don't think, Brian?
It's just that kind of back then. Look, right now, yes. Back then, yes. Right now, no. You know, it's he's getting on a little bit in age. And look, there's a reason why he's only ever played for Villa and Leicester. He's almost there, and he's had an excellent season. He dropped off
internationally too. Internationally, he had a very good season.
He dropped off a lot at Leicester because they didn't let him leave. You know, and then Rodgers, but him on his day, he's kind of like on his day. It's just like, but
on his day,
yeah. Does he walk straight into this Liverpool team? No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
You know, it's just, and I think he's 28 now. You know, so it's just like
signing though, one for Villa. It was a crafty one for memory. Like Onana's a really good sign. I really like Onana in midfield for Villa because he was excellent at Everton. You could see it like straight away at Everton, and he was really good here when he was here. So for them to step in for him, like I wasn't surprised. Like, but if I have to take one of their midfielders, to take Onana, definitely very combative. He's plenty of
choice. Yeah.
I'm taking Morgan Rodgers.
He was quality for them. I will admit he was.
Yeah, Rodgers is the one, by the way. Rodgers is the
Rodgers.
one.
Rodgers is the one.
We should be buying Morgan Rodgers. We really should.
Good.
We really should be buying Morgan Rodgers. Absolutely.
Slap 100 million tag on him or something instantly when it was talked about that people were interested in him, or at least a 90 million tag or something silly. Don't forget he is English as well, which adds to the price.
I guess I could have put other
Man City player.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome back, Milante. Welcome back. 6 fair for Villa. Thumbs up. You could say thumbs up or thumbs down. Fair for Villa at 6.
I'll probably put them a little bit higher, but lower in the numbers. Okay. I don't know. I need to see the other ones, and I'll tell you at the end.
Okay, we'll do a review. I'll ask you then a review who you would, after I bring the whole list out, you can tell me who you'd bump out and who you'd replace, that kind of deal. At number 5, excuse me, sorry about that.
Bless you, man.
At number 5, I have City at number 5. I know this is probably a surprise considering. Oh, one moment, they had to drop out again. I know this might be a surprise for some, considering how highly rated their team is in the sense of being back-to-back style, like multiple time Premier League winners. They've had the nucleus has always been their midfield and the likes. But let's be honest. I know City at 5. Yes, it is there because without De Bruyne and with Rodri returning from an injury, I think that crown that they wear is a little tarnished. Needs a little shining up to be done. To be honest with you, Kovacic, Foden, Bernardo. It's hard to even say it. You got to get the shivers. All exceptional. But there's a sense that they're still kind of figuring things out because they struggled without Rodri last year. And then Foden, who was player of the year the season previous to the last one, all of a sudden dropped off a cliff in production. I'm going to ask Milante before we lose him again. Is City's midfield still dominant even without KDB?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, KDB was injured when he played half the time last season. He made effective setting games, but he wasn't the same KDB. So Yes, City will listen. No, don't make no mistake about it. City will still do their thing.
Right.
Obviously, they'll have adjust,
Mhm.
changes, etc. But the midfield is still might not be the same as a Silva, Yaya, Prime Gundo. Obviously
Yeah.
KDB's gone and stuff like that, and Rodri's injury. Milner's there's so many, but no, that midfield can still do a job. So
Okay.
I wouldn't write it off just
You
yet.
wouldn't write them off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think, Lee, that Rodri is going to be immediate impact and be able to consistently perform at that high level that citizens, I guess that's how you say it, right? And are so used to him performing at? Do you think he can maintain it all the entire year?
He is the cure to all their ills, isn't he? Apparently, because without him, they are a crap, much worse team. As for what the citizens expect from him, like their fan base, they probably do expect him to just step back in and get right back in the groove. And I think he will. He probably will. He might not be. He won't be up to his the levels that he was at before his injury for a while. It'll take him a while to build back up, won't it, after an ACL? But it'll probably still be good enough to make them a tough proposition anyway. If what he was like before he got injured is anything to go by, then yeah, he will make them a tougher proposition this season, won't he? I think they still have troubles though. I think they'll have troubles in other areas as well. Right?
Okay. I'll ask the question then to JK.
Mm-hmm.
Is Guardiola capable? I know he's capable, but do you believe that Guardiola is going to reinvent that formidable midfield once again at City? Do you think that the processes should be trusted, basically? Big question, I know. Or is he going to be scratching his head? Is he going to be scratching his head like crazy again this year?
It could look like, I think De Bruyne leaving captain and that, Rodri coming back from an injury, he's going to be thinking what's going to happen next season. So he's probably more worried than anyone. Signing wise, not great for me. They got the lad from Milan in, Rinders. Yeah, if it don't click, it ain't click. So I'm not really worried about City, I tell you the truth. But City are City. We've got Pep Guardiola, top manager, you know what I mean?
Right. He is a top manager, certainly. He had a lot going on in his head last year. I'll ask Brian this question then. Which player best replaces KDB creative-wise? Which player in this, if you wanted to give, you could say none can, you could say, if you want to give a different option in one of those three that I gave, you're more than welcome to, but.
Well, season before last, Phil Foden was Premier League Player of the Year. Not Young Player of the Year, not Manchester City Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Year.
Yep.
Last season, where's Phil Foden gone?
Yeah.
Hang on, we need to no. This is typical Pep. Grealish comes in, doesn't play for a year. He plays the second year. They win the treble. The third year, he doesn't play again. He's so freaking unpredictable. Bernardo Silva, is the ultimate Pep player, so he'll play all the time. So Foden, he could do the Pep stuff again, where he's like, yeah, I've decided I'm going to play with a system that suits Foden now. And next season, Foden goes back to being brilliant. But it's just Pep. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. I mean, Doku, Foden, Grealish, like he brings in. I wouldn't be surprised, basically, if he brings in Ray and Sharkey this year, and Sharkey gets 15 goals and 20 assists, and next season he plays 6 games because he's gone and changed it again. You know, so with it being Pep, I would kind of maybe put, unless Foden gets reinvented, like I said, it's kind of he changes again and Foden works. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he has a system where Ryan Sharkey is kind of his main man.
Yeah, very,
but
very.
next year, Sharkey's gone or something. You know, it's just he's incredibly unpredictable. I just, you know, like literally everyone in England, and rightly so, they've been talking about Foden for years. It's like we've never had a guy with technique like that since Gaza, Hoddle, blah, blah, and then he goes and proves it, and then he goes, and then he gets pepped. You know, can you imagine if he was at Liverpool or Arsenal? He'd be playing every game. There'd be none of this kind of. Yeah, so honestly, with Pep, especially these days, but with the fact that he's kind of done it new, I would say either Bernardo Silva or Ryan Sharkey, I think will be their most kind of creative. Marmoush as well also will be a big player for them, but different. But just in that kind of creative, I think maybe Bernardo Silva just kind of giving it one last season before it goes, or Ryan Sharkey maybe. But like they've got, why would you buy Ryan Sharkey when you have Phil Foden? Seriously, why would you do
that?
That
was a question I had too. I know a lot of people were very big on, oh, Sharkey's great, he's this and he's that. But I'm like, so then where are you going to play Foden at then? Are you going to try to push him out and onto the wing? Is that like basically, but you have Doku there, you know, like where is
flexibility? Flexibility. Same way you guys were saying, right, about Wirtz playing potentially on the left or this and that. It's the same thing with Foden. He's done it before. Flexibility. On the same team all the time. So you play L positions they've got Marmoush now, so he played as a false 9 in the title winning team as well. So it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be an issue.
do you know what I think it is? I think it's just basically Pep is constantly creating new ideas and new formations, all of them, constantly. And you can only play 11 players, right? And you need some basics. The basics will remain the same. But a lot of kind of like, I've come up with a new idea. Anybody that's ever played Football Manager will know that when you try and come up with a new idea, a new way of doing things, you have to keep all the basics in place. But oftentimes it's maybe that like, oh, I won't play with a number 10. You know, I'll play in this system, I'll use a number 10. Oh, but I want to change it up. It's getting a bit sad, so I'll do this thing. And the thing that, I have to have fullbacks, I have to defenders, you know, but I won't quite use that number 10. I'll use maybe 2 8s. And I think that's what Guardiola is in constantly. And he's hitting on a system where it's like, bang, I need a 10, and I'm going to run Foden, you're up. And then he changes again. It's like, no, I need 2 8s now. And so Foden is there going, well, there's no role for me now. Whereas if you put a Foden in a Guardiola team and you make him a focal point because he's so fucking good, he, like I say, he wins player of the bloody year.
He'll shine.
Yeah, but then you try and do it different because Guardiola can't stop changing, can't stop tinkering.
I think that's the problem, but that's always been his problem. That's the reason why for a while.
But it's his strength and his problem.
Yeah, it's a what do they say? It's an asset and a curse at the same time, basically.
Yeah, he's always evolving. Oh, you think he's going to do this? Bang! Next year he does something different.
Definitely. Pick up AR. Good to see you. Okay. Well, I have him at my number 5. I'm going to say number 4. Show you number 4. I have number 4 Newcastle. I know maybe some might have had them as their number 5 rather than number 4. I just think that with the 3 players that start for them, they might not have the depth of other teams once you get past their starting 3. However, their starting 3 could be one of the most strongest trio in the game. Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, Joe Linton. I mean, this trio can outfight and outplay most. We saw that in our League Cup final. I think we saw that to a T. Sorry to bring back bad memories for some. But you add Willock, you add maybe Longstaff to that. You even had there could be a shot, Harvey Barnes in a pinch. And I think then you maybe see a little bit of the depth that some might think that they're missing. I think if Tonali returns focus, if he returns to the level that we've seen him obviously in Italy, but also when he was actively playing for Newcastle, was a real difference maker. This team has possibly one of the top four, obviously in my opinion, top four midfields in the league. I'm going to ask Nalante, I think I went Nalante first actually last time. I'll ask Lee this time. Lee, should Newcastle be higher than fourth in your mind?
I mean, no, not than fourth. No.
Should they be lower than fourth?
Yeah. I don't think they finished fourth next season. I think they finished about sixth in the league.
Okay. All right. JK, does a lack of technical depth basically prevent them from being ranked higher, in your opinion? Or maybe, I don't know if you have them ranked higher in your book or not, but would you agree that without the technical depth that they lack, I think beyond this midfield three, do you think that's what really makes a difference in their team?
It's a good midfield. The guys who come in after them, like Sean Longstaff's gone to Leeds now. They're not really names you could say, yeah, top players. You know what I mean? So for me, that three they've got are good. Other than that, they got what's his name coming now? Alanga, is it from Forest? He's more of a winger.
He's more of a winger.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring this on. I was just about to get this. I'll ask you this then. Brian, which Magpie midfielder do you think is the most important to their team then? From this list, you can give me if you got a choice, you can put in other if you like.
No, I like what Jake. It is. You go on paper 1-for-1. Guimaraes, Tonali. Look, Joe Linton's in there. Okay. It's rock solid. It's really good. Bruno's really good. Tonali is very impressive. Very impressive, especially with everything that's gone on, But if we're just talking about that, that's top. But at Newcastle, if you were to do like an FA Cup version where all three of those guys stay at home, the next three, that's really bad. The drop off at Newcastle is huge. Like the next one, what's that? Like Longstaff is like, what is that? What's Miley, Willock, and the other Longstaff brother, maybe.
Yeah,
if he's still there. Like the drop off from Bruno and Tonali and Joe Linton to what's below them is probably one of the biggest in the top six.
Yeah,
it probably is the biggest in the top six, to be honest. That gap. Bruno and Tonali, that's a really good two. Joe Linton lets it down a little in terms of where you place him, in your rankings. Joelinton's great ball win. I mean, the 45 million pound striker they bought.
He is. Yes.
Reinvented as a ball.
Agent Barnes' favorite player too. I think Barnes
so,
posted him up on his wall.
Yeah, I mean it's a very interesting. I mean Bruno and Tonali is a great duo. Absolutely brilliant. Both of them top midfielders. But as a three with a Joelinton, but as a club, yeah, after that, you're like, because they sold Elliot Anderson to Nottingham Forest, a guy they didn't want to lose. He would have been a great little player. I think they've got. I think it's Miley would be the other guy that would come in. He's sort of the next cab off the rank in their midfield. Lewis Miley, I think.
The next Longstaff.
Yeah, there's the other. There's Sean and who's gone. I said Longstaff is gone, and there's a Sean, and there's another one, and yeah, I mean it's pretty poor. The drop off is big. Yeah, the drop off really is big.
It's big. It's big. If they have especially you'll see it most likely because they're hoping that Tonali comes back, fit enough to make a difference or fit enough to really contribute. But if he's not, or maybe there's a setback in his progression back, then all of a sudden you're relying on a Willock or you're relying on a Miley Cyrus, or if not Lewis Miley.
Well, like if you took out Joelinton and you put in Alexis Mac Allister, right? That elevates that. Then it's like even it's just it's Guimaraes and Tonali really to me are their top two, but as a three, I think where do you have them here? Is it fifth?
I have them at 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's far off. Yeah,
just off the strength of those 3 players, I have them at 4.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Okay. And who would you have as who would you have said out of that poll?
Oh, I think last year Guimaraes, this year Tonali. Tonali's been a revelation. Yeah, because he can be a bit of a difference maker, and he takes a bit of the. I think you've noticed Guimaraes was trying to be a difference maker when he came in, as well as doing everything else. Now he's kind of realized, or not realized, but Tonali is taking some of that weight off his shoulders, so he can do what he's good at and concentrate on it more. And Tonali is able to actually be, So.
Agreed. Definitely agree. Number three is a team that plays, unfortunately. And they're not our crosstown rivals. Take down this question. I have Chelsea.
Right.
And the wonderful songbook of one song.
Their one and only song, practically. Yes, Caicedo and Enzo. £200 million pairing, midfield pairing, basically. You had Dewsbury Hall. You had Chukwuemeka. It's a mouthful. You had Lavia. And this midfield, you could argue, has a high ceiling. But the question remains, is it ready now, or is it still going to have to evolve into that dependable midfield, or always just, this is next year's midfield revelation? I'm gonna double check and make sure. I put Cole Palmer in this as a 10. I know that some might have him playing a little bit further forward as a forward, but he has played as a 10. So, and I've been including 10s in this list as cams. So with Cole Palmer, I think that was basically the determinant factor in why I rated them at the 3 spot. I will ask. Let's start with Brian this time. What do you think is missing from Chelsea's midfield right now? or if anything, do you think they're missing something or anything? Hmm? Oh, I think he's talking to Coco. I'll ask that question, JK. Hopefully you're not talking to Smokey. Okay, all right.
Can you just repeat that, bro?
Yeah. What's missing from Chelsea's midfield right now? If anything, do you think they're missing anything from their midfield? Or do they have the complete midfield? Experience is a good shot.
Experience for me. They just got loads of midfielders in and then hope for the best, you know. And they never really look. When you look at their midfield list, not great. Not great. It's okay. It's not a title-winning midfield. Cole Palmer's probably their best, and then you've probably got Caicedo and Fernandez. You know,
right.
But other than that, not great for me.
Okay. All right. Lee, I'm going to ask you this poll question that the chat is going to be able to answer themselves as well. Will Chelsea finish top 4 with this midfield?
Yeah, I think so. I think Chelsea have finished top 4 this season, unfortunately. But yeah, I expect them to finish ahead of, say, Newcastle.
Okay.
I think Chelsea's team's better all round. The squad team all round the Newcastle. So I'll put them in like 4th place definitely this year. Is it going to be 5 again? Is it this season 5th place?
There's no guarantee. It most likely, I think it might simply because
they want the confidence.
Because 2 out of the 3 competitions still had a English team win the competition. Spurs won Europa and Chelsea won the Conference League.
Yeah, it should do it. So yeah, it'll be 5th. But I expect Chelsea to get in top 4 this year. It's about time they bloody did, isn't it? Like with the money they've spent. You know what I mean? But I expect them to be a good bit better this season, a good deal better, or more consistent rather.
Red Armchair Supporter agrees with you. I'll ask Brian this question. Do you think this midfield, does Chelsea possibly contend with us in a title race?
Can I answer that one?
Oh yeah. I'll
yes and no.
Brian's not
yeah, they can be in the title race with us, but not until May. They'll drop by May, but they will be in the title race. I think. Like how long? I don't know. They were in it last season for a while, weren't they? Like
yeah.
Which don't blame them.
They're up to. They were considered to be title contenders right up to the time we played them last year, I believe.
Yeah. I believe
we played them at home, obviously, and we pretty much that was the game. I think Curtis Jones shut down Cole Palmer for the most part.
Yeah, that was a good game. That one, wasn't it? I think Arnie learned a lot from that game, and we did as well. That we can, get wins in different ways. But yeah, I think they will improve this season. Definitely. I think they will be in the title race, but I don't think they'll be there in May. I don't think they'll stay the whole course. They're not ready for that yet, I don't think. But they're nearly there. They're getting there, aren't they? And João Pedro will certainly help.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'll move on. I'm not sure if Brian's with us or not. So I'll move on to this being the number 2 spot. The number 2 spot. And the number 2 spot goes to... I have Arsenal at the number 2 spot. I'm sure there's going to be some Arsenal fans out there that are going to definitely disagree. I'm sure that there's going to be also an occasional comment, possibly a comment from Pops saying that I'm just hating on Arsenal, but it's not the case. I think, I think that It's not a slight to be the number 2 midfield, I believe. At number 2, the Gunners have Declan Rice. They have Odegaard, giving them some real elite control. They have Kai Havertz, who's going to certainly, I think, this year play more of a midfield role than he did last year, which was he played more of a number 9 role for them. But I know Kai Havertz still divides opinion, but I think he fits their tactical plan possibly for their upcoming campaign. They don't always sparkle. I think, you add Partey to that mix last year. They were, I think, a very dynamic group. I think that he was possibly one of the most overlooked portions of the group, to be honest with you. But he also got pushed to that fullback position maybe once too often. But still the same, I don't think Arsenal ever really got outplayed in their midfield. I'll ask this of the panel. Brian, are you back by any chance? Brian? Bueller? Okay. I'm going to put him on mute for a second. He can unmute himself when he comes back, so that I know that he's with us. Well, Ferris Bueller, I know I'm dating myself by making that reference. But a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Iconic movie for sure.
It is good fun, that one, isn't it?
It's good fun. Oh, absolutely. Shake it up, baby, now. All right. But I'll ask you this question, JK. Is Odegaard would you still consider Odegaard a top tier cam? Or has he plateaued?
I think he's a top player, bro. I think if he played for Liverpool, he would have smashed it for us. Top with the ball, just an all-round top player. I think he gets a bit of a hard, just like he gets pretty rough by the Arsenal fans and stuff. But I think quality-wise, bro, he's got the most quality in the whole team when he's got the ball. He's a top player, bro. I wish we got him. Back in the days. Interesting. Okay, I'll have a follow-up question to that then. I'll ask Lee this question though. Who's the best midfielder for Arsenal in your opinion? Is it Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, Nwarnari? Excuse me. Nwarnari, I think that's how you pronounce it. Nwarnari, or maybe you have someone else in that list. Maybe you have. I'll
say Declan Rice did well last season. He did have a good season. Zubimendi could be good. Marino's done good at times last season. Yeah, that's about it. I'd probably pick Rice out of them as being the best player. Well, going by last season anyway.
It's kind of interesting that they let Thomas Partey leave on a free contract.
Got the replacements already, haven't they, in Norgard? So, don't know what's going to go like for Odegaard this season, because he's been getting questioned a bit, hasn't he, by some of the Arsenal fans?
I don't really think. You honestly think that Norgard is the same output or potential or quality as a Partey, Thomas Partey? Thomas Partey, I think was
yeah, he had a good season too. Yes, potentially Norgard could replace that for them. He done well for Brentford, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, Odegaard seems to be under question now by some of the Arsenal fan base, doesn't he? Does he do enough? That's their problem, really, not mine. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Zubi does, the old Zubi fella, because obviously we are interested in him. Let's see how he takes to the Premier League, if at all.
Well, I think the reason why I had him at number 2 is I don't really think it wasn't for me because of Odegaard, to be honest with you. I think Odegaard fell off last year as in quality, to be honest with you. that's just my personal opinion. There were times when you could hear a lot of the Arsenal fans themselves kind of bemoaning the fact that, you know, there's a big penalty kick to take and Odegaard would like pass it off to someone else, or, you know, or the fact that he was injured quite a few times through the runs. You can't really necessarily blame people for injuries, but I mean, like, the sheer fact that he wasn't available really hurt him last year. And then when he did come back, he wasn't to the form and shape that he was originally before those injuries. But one of the major reasons why I did have Arsenal at number 2 is because, yeah, Zubimendi now might allow for Rice already gets forward in a lot of what they do already, you know, but now that you have possibly a midfield of, you know, Rice, Odegaard, Zubimendi, and then maybe Havertz, maybe you go for 4, you go with maybe 4 in the midfield. I don't know where and how they're going to mix it in. I don't think they're going back with 3 in the back. But and then, you know, who knows how they mix it in, because I know now I'm thinking about it, saying it out loud. I don't know if they would go with a 4-4-2, and I don't think they would go for a 3-4-3. So it's going to be interesting where they mix Havertz in. It's going to be very interesting. Zubimendi knows North London has no mountains. Yeah, I know. He should know. Zubimendi made a very interesting comment about the fact that he went there primarily because of the experience. I think he put it as of Arteta. He wanted the experience or something along those lines of a veteran manager, and he believes in Arteta.
So he's about Zubimendi believing in Arteta.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't believe in Slot enough, did he? I only heard that today or yesterday. Somebody said it like he wasn't sure whether Arne Slot would do the business.
He didn't think that he thought that Arne Slot, he didn't think that Arne Slot and Liverpool were ready. This is a player coming from Real Sociedad. This is a player that chose Arsenal, who has certainly taken on the mantle of being bridesmaid rather than the bride.
Well, he's in good company in London, isn't he? Because Caicedo and Lavia did the exact same thing, and now they're sorry. So he might make up a trio there in London midfielders who are all sorry they didn't join us.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, we have it's just me, Szoboszlai, and JK left for the grand reveal. So I'm going to give it to you, and that is, we are at number 1. It's a new era. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. It's a new era now that we have Wirtz in our midst. But I know people are going to say it's biased. Okay, say what you like. But I have Liverpool as the number 1 midfield. I honestly have Liverpool as the number 1 midfield in the league. I don't see any role or any player that's a part of our midfield as a negative. And if anything, the starting midfield, especially if you go with the diamond, which is what I'm looking at as a cam, having having a cam and maybe a right and a left and just a sole DM, or even if you do go for pivot and you have possibly the likes of like a system that has like in essence the two 10s, but one that kind of gravitates more as an offensive 10, and then having a 10 that gets involved when he can, but more so as defensive minded. In maybe like a Szoboszlai. I just think we have the most dynamic group in Mac Allister, in Szoboszlai, in Gravenberch, and especially now that we have the addition of Wirtz, We have creativity. We have explosive capabilities. We have intelligence, by the way, real midfield intelligence, I think. Very astute players. I think Mac Allister arguably could be one of the smartest midfielders on the pitch when it comes to football IQ. I think no one wants to play against this midfield when it's clicking. I'll ask this of JK, and then I'll ask the next. I have another question for Lee, and then we'll review the choices and hear what they think should be this or should be that in the list. JK, have Liverpool officially built the best midfield in England, in your opinion? Do you think they rightfully deserve to be at number one?
Of course. That midfield three of last season won us the league. And it works to that. Oof. Sky's the limit. I think everyone's got their favourite three who they want on the pitch. Like for me, Mac Allister, Gravenberch playing like a base with Wirtz in front of them. But for me, that's number one midfield.
Okay. I mean, you look at that midfield, and it's just being honest. Gravenberch, Mac Allister, Dom, Curtis Jones, who could play for a lot of teams. Okay, start for a lot of the Premier League teams at that. Wataru Endo, constant professional, can sub in and be a starter if you necessarily need him, or it could be a backup. It can fill that backup role when necessary. Harvey Elliott, much maligned player. I think there's still a future for him in his team. However, if there isn't, I still think that he will go on and become a very good, if not dynamic player at another club. And then you add Florian Wirtz into that mix. We are talking about a little bit of a typo, apologies. But we were talking about some real dynamism. You're looking at basically 7 bona fide midfielders. Bona fide quality midfielders. And that's why you can say what you like about Arsenal. Very comparable in the sense of competing for that number one spot. But I think when you start to look at the absolute complete list of them too, you start looking into the depth that you can replace them with. I don't think there's any better team, any better group of midfielders in the league. And I'd be willing to debate that with anyone that was willing to say otherwise. So I'm going to ask you this, and we want to take back too. Can this midfield be the difference maker in getting us another Prem, getting us back to back? To Lee, that's your question, Lee. Can this midfield perform at a level that brings us back-to-back titles?
Yeah, definitely. I think so, yeah. It was the best midfield last season, definitely. Once it clicked into gear, it was excellent. I think we can do the same again this season with the additions that we've got all around the midfield. It should be good. Just O'Brien can stay fit, for most of the season and play a lot like. But we are covered with Enzo and with Jones. I'm not sure if Harvey's still going to be here, but yeah, that'll give us like 6 midfielders for 3 positions, wouldn't it? Or 7 if Harvey stays. So
if all those guys stay with the team, you have one of the most. I think you have the most. Not only dynamic starting group, but you have an absolute star sub or star bench to keep those stars fresh and keep them something that me and Alante and even JK have been really been critical of this coach of doing, and that is making sure to keep the rotation fresh so that we can have something like what you just mentioned, Gravenberch stay healthy, or have Mac Allister be available. I just think that the depth of this team is very so incredible at the midfield. because Curtis Jones could be a starter. There's no guarantee that Dominic starts. Curtis Jones could start. Obviously, I don't think Endo will start simply because of what we see here, but he's a quality player to be able to have off of the bench. As well as, unfortunately, this coach I don't think he believes in Elliott the way that some of us do in the fan base. But I think Elliott could provide us some real coverage if he was given the opportunity.
Gravenberch misses the opener against Bournemouth, doesn't he, through suspension? So we're going to have to do something different there.
That's right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think it's more than likely be Endo, do you reckon, against Bournemouth then? Out of that.
Or does it? Okay, so is it Bournemouth that he misses?
Yeah, the first game, Bournemouth at Anfield. I think he misses the charity Community Shield as well. But he'll have to come to some other.
That's what I was going to say, though. I think that does he just miss the Community Shield, or does he?
No, as far as I know, he does. As far as I remember, he does miss the opener against Bournemouth, so we'll be forced to play without Gravenberch on the open. But we are at home, and it is Bournemouth, so hopefully we'll cope. But he's the one player that's really hard to replace there, isn't he? Mac Allister, we can bring Jones in or drop Szoboszlai back. But when Gravenberch is not there, it's really only Endo, isn't it? I don't like the idea of Jones playing in these six at all. So Endo it would be for me on the opening day.
Okay.
Mac Allister and Wirtz.
Okay. Astis of Nalante. I put this poll in here. I said, who do you think, which midfielder out of this group will be Liverpool's breakout star this season?
Breakout star is a bit of I'll see breakout star as a player just bursting through the ranks. So I'm not going to say Gravenberch because he's already kind of done his thing last season. So Elliott, again, I'm not going to say him. He might not be here. So there's got to be Wirtz, really.
Okay.
I don't think it could be any of the others.
Okay. How about for you, Lee? And then we'll have JK tell us his answer.
Yeah, I think definitely Wirtz this season in midfield. Grav's already broken out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Elliott, I can't see it. Sobo's got a bit to prove again. Like it could be a good season for him, but there might be less minutes for the guy this season than there was last season. But hopefully he has a good one anyway. But I think we are covered, as to your question earlier. I think we are covered. We've just not got enough players there to do us in midfield. And as long as we bring a centre half in, then we're ready to go, won't we?
Pick up Squid Lee. What up, my brother? Good to see you. What is your answer, JK?
Anyone go Wirtz. But it could be Szoboszlai as well. I just wish Szoboszlai puts his foot down going into his third year. So for me, Szoboszlai and Wirtz are the two guys, hopefully, who put their good boots on,
Lee WizKids giving the answer to both of our speculations. Lee, he's saying that it's FA, the ban is FA, not to the Prem, so that's why he'll be available for the Community Shield, but not for our opener.
Well, it's interesting. It gives him a poser for the opening game, doesn't it? Like for the first game, what does he do in midfield? I'm assuming that it'd be Endo. We'll partner Mac Allister and Wirtz in the midfield on the opening day.
All right. I do have, you know what? I can put that in there too. Give me 1 second. so that you can see the visual list here. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm going to bring this into the folder here. All right, so just so you have a little bit of an idea as to what the list was. With this list, where I can't move them physically, but you can tell me if you agree with that list, or who would you move around, what would you do with it. We've got about 10 to 20 more minutes to talk about this, or at least 10 more minutes to talk about this. Then we can have 10 more minutes to talk about anything you want. But just as a reference, this is the list that basically it was put together. I'm going to ask JK. I have Brighton still in this list. My fault. This is the original list of mine, actually. So I originally did have Brighton at number 9. But the only two moves is I had Manchester United at 10, and I had Bournemouth at 9, not Brighton at 9. What would have been your list if you were putting it together? That's about as big as I can make it. I guess I can make it a little bit bigger, maybe. Let me see.
I think City's midfield is better than Chelsea's, and Villa's. Villa's is better than Chelsea's. I think Chelsea I'd put on 5th. 6th, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than
How
that,
about for you, Lee?
spot on.
Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. How about for you, Lee?
I put City higher up in it.
You put City higher up?
Yeah, then their midfield's better than Newcastle's is good, but City's is better if Rodri's back. Rodri, whoever else do you want to play with, and what's his name? Rinders and Gonzalez that they bought. That'd be a decent midfield. That'd be better than Newcastle's. I reckon Arsenal's is not worthy of 2nd place, or they finish 2nd. I'd probably put squeeze Chelsea ahead on their midfield of Arsenal. I reckon Chelsea's midfield's better than Arsenal's.
Okay, wasn't expecting that. All right, Vellante, here's your shot or your shout.
You know what? I would put Palace in that top 10.
Okay.
I'll put Palace in the top 10. Either for Forest or Bournemouth, one of those two will go out. Arsenal and Chelsea, I'll swap Chelsea and Arsenal around.
Okay.
I'll put Arsenal down in fourth. I'll put Man City 3rd in terms of the midfielders they've got. Yeah, and apart from that, I think everything else is okay in terms of where the list is.
Big thing for City is like a lot of it rests on Rodri's shoulders, doesn't it? How they're going to do this season. So there's a lot resting on his legs as well as his shoulders. I had a look at his injury again before, just while you were talking. I googled it to have another look. It was quite a bad one, wasn't it? Like gruesome. But if he doesn't recover properly from that, then that might keep him out of the title race. They do say that, the world works in mysterious ways. Maybe if they fail to be punished by the authorities for the cheating stuff, they'll have bad luck with Rodri's injury continuing. No offence, Rodri, but you might carry the can for what they've done. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Again, let me hear your top threes then. Let me hear your top three for each of them.
I would put Liverpool first, then Chelsea, then City, because I don't know about Rodri, multi-sided. Like, is it going to be like the real Rodri or like a lesser Rodri? So I'd give Chelsea the nod for the second best midfield with Caicedo, Enzo, and whoever else they're going to play in there. It's a good midfield, there's.
Okay. How about for you, JK? What's your top three? No. All right. How about for you, Nolante? What would be your top three? Just a quick rundown again, if I can just hear it again.
For me, bro.
Yeah.
City 3, Arsenal 2, Liverpool 1.
Okay. Nolante? What would be your top three again? Just so I get it, make sure I heard everyone right and get them on the record here.
Yeah, top three probably would be us, Chelsea, then City.
Wow. Everyone still has City so high. That's interesting. Very interesting. I just find it interesting because I think that it relies so heavily on, let me take this down actually. It relies so heavily on Rodri being to his level. And that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot.
It's a very good midfield when
he's an excellent midfielder. No, not very good. He's an excellent midfielder.
Yeah.
He's he's Ballon d'Or player of the year, one World Player of the Year. So
yeah.
It was surprising actually how badly they fell apart without him. Now we already knew that because he'd missed games before he got that injury, and he was shit then. Whenever they never won, I don't think they ever won once without him before like he got his injury, and then I thought he'd cope better than that. I did not think he'd fall apart as spectacular as they did without him. Okay, they had a few other injuries, but it was just mainly him, wasn't it? They could not replace him. That's on Pep's shoulders.
For the most part, it was yeah, and that's why too. I mean, for those haters on KDB was very when he was able to play, he was a real difference maker for them when he got the ability to play and actually contribute
to an extent.
To an extent, he made a difference to the levels that he could bring at his age and everything else. I think he made a difference. I mean,
yeah, it's on Pep. Really.
Haaland's a good player, but I'll let you finish. Let me say one thing, Lee. I think Haaland is an excellent player. However, I don't think he's a complete forward in that he'll score your goals, and that's all people really care about their forward doing for the most part. But if your system requires a player to track back, play defense, maybe have some link-up play for your wings and the likes and such, I don't think he offers that. Doesn't offer you the ability to play with his back to the ball and dribble and hold off players that way. He doesn't bring that. But when it comes to if you can feed that player, give him through balls or give him opportunities to put a head on your crosses, then it's a different story. Much different story. And I think that was a big difference maker last year, is that all of a sudden a lot of those players who didn't have to worry about a lot of that defensive emphasis that Rodri covered, all of a sudden had to all, as a group, collectively try to make up the difference of Rodri. I don't think that it impacted their game in other aspects. That's just my perspective. Maybe you have a different perspective. Any of you can chime in.
No, whatever combination he tries without Rodri last season, Pep, it just didn't really work, did it, with the players that he had? And then he brought the guy in from Benfica, but none of it really work, did it, without Rodri? He tried Kitch and then Gundogan together with Bernardo in front of them, and he tried everything. He tried every combination that he had, and he just struggled, didn't he? So it is the main thing about their season is how he comes back from his injury. And hopefully it takes him some time to get back up to speed. Hopefully it takes him, the best part of the season before he feels himself again. Because that'll hopefully rule him out the title race for another year. And that's good. It's good for us anyway.
Okay.
I mean, we were talking about when Virgil had his ACL, and he said like about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the season, he said, I'm only just feeling properly myself now. And that was, 3/4, 2/3 of the way through the season, he said, after his ACL. But we were still good that season. It still took us all the way to Paris and within a point of the title, even though Virgil was just coming back from his ACL. So if you look at it from that point of view, Rodri could come straight back in. And although he wouldn't be like 100%, it'd be good enough for Pep's team to function again and be dangerous to us.
Yeah. That's what I was. I just look back and say, you know what, VVD, who I love as a player, definitely wasn't. We all know that VVD wasn't exactly at the extreme, elite level that we've all come to expect him at. When he first came back from that injury or from the recovery, and on top of that, at times even looked a little bit like, I wouldn't say suspect. Looked a little timid is the best word I would say, in like having to engage in some tackle. You got to get that confidence to, you got to get that first real big tackle in, for you to be able to get up and not feel anything, or for you to be able to get up and still have the same hop in your step to make you say, okay, I'm back, or okay, I can engage. Rather that obstacle is a serious obstacle to get over.
Certainly after that type of injury and the way he picked it up, Virgil, it's got to be in the back of your mind when you're coming back from that type of injury. And it'll be the same for Rodri, although he wasn't injured in quite the same way. Still a nasty injury. But because he's such a good player, in the same way Virgil's such a good player, it didn't really matter. He was just back in the side, and we went all the way, as I said, that season, didn't we? Went quite close to the quad. 2 cups, lost out on the league by a point. Lost the final in Paris, but that was Virgil on half power for most of the season. Right. So Rodri could be the same thing. I just hope it isn't nothing against Rodri. I'm just saying, I hope it takes him a while till he's back to his levels, and that'll slow City down a bit. Absolutely.
I mean, we all, I guess you'd say, we don't wish injury on people, but take your time. How about that? Take your time with it.
Yeah. Make sure you're right.
Everything said.
Yeah. I'm not going to sing the song, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it PG. But with VVD, I, to be honest, I disagree, because when he came back, he was more than good. He might have not been 100%, but he's more than good. Hence, we went all the way. We won 2 cup competitions. It was the following season when he was awful, when you would think he would be 100%. The following season, that was his worst season ever for Liverpool. He was like a deer in the headlights. And he came back. He was very good, for me, in my opinion.
Interesting.
The following season, the following season, he was awful. That's clearly his worst season for us. He was all over the shop, in my opinion.
22-23 season.
Yeah. I think he was. The 21-22 is fine for me. Yeah. Might not be 100%. He was good.
Yeah,
he wouldn't.
He was very good.
So
we had such a great season, didn't we? I'm just going by what he said, himself. He said, it took me a long time to, get over this. He said, I only feel back to where I was now. This was probably in the March or something, or the February. He was saying, but it was good enough at the time to take us. And let's be honest, we should have won that title. We were robbed, weren't we? By Rodri's handball.
Should have won the title, and that European Cup, but that's the past.
Goodison Park as well, that handball, that just made it even worse.
They did, but
it was a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, but the draw at Spurs, that was the nail in the coffin, unfortunately.
Yeah, that did.
Real quick. We have about like 5 minutes before we bounce out of here. We got a nice little selection of people in the chat. Big up to everyone that's joining us. Lee Whiz Kid, Red Armchair Supporter, Red Philly. I saw Philly Liverpool FC, LFC. I saw Squidly. Always good to see Squidly. Let's see who else was there. AR was here. Dara was here earlier. Hopefully I didn't forget anyone that I'm missing. But quick question. Norm was here too as well. Norm was here. And Cedric as well. John Conway. These are the people early. Indian Scouser was here early. Shout out to all of you. Quick question. Speaking of midfield, this player no longer plays in our midfield. However, this is the question I saw on another show. I saw how it was addressed, and I didn't necessarily, me as being a Red supporter, and this is one of the players I actually did enjoy, despite the fact that he was injured quite a bit. Would you have said that Thiago was mid, as the kids like to say, for us when he played at Liverpool? Was Thiago a mid? I guess that's how you. I hope I'm referencing. I'm definitely showing my age because I don't know if that's how you necessarily say it. But was Thiago mid? Was he suspect? Was he not a good player for us?
You could see he was brilliant, couldn't you? But just couldn't be fit. Hardly at all.
Yes.
So where does it?
Take out I get the availability is a major part of it. I compare it very much so to like an Ibu. I think Ibu is possibly. Ibu could be possibly put as being one of the best center halves in the Premier League. However, maybe not necessarily in that last year, and that's the reason why you can make that claim even more with more chest this year. But previously, before that, he was not available, and he wasn't available for good portions of the year. And you could say, "Oh, well, he's an exceptional player, but he's not available." But when he was available, he was exceptional. I think the same of Thiago. You take Thiago's availability when he was available, I think Thiago was a catalyst for us in our system and being a linchpin of how we dictated games and how he was a centerpiece in how we went about orchestrating games. I think he was a conductor, a maestro, not someone that got incredible numbers in the sense of assists or even goals. However, his link-up play, his ability to dribble, his ability to create and start breaks or start the actual offense for us was second to none. And I think that from that very first day that very first game that he played for us, I think the league was put on notice that he would be a problem if he was able to stay. If he was able to stay healthy, he was going to be an absolute problem when he set the record for most completed passes and the likes. But I would never say he was a mid player.
Are you saying mid? The mid, MID, yeah.
MID. I know that's a unique term, but I heard that's what Daps was referencing him as. Said he was mid, saying he was not good.
Yeah. No, he was good when he was on the pitch. He was good when he was on the pitch.
Exactly.
You've got to just put that aside. He was a very good player, wasn't he? And you could see he had some nice moments for us, like only a few of them because of the injuries, but he's one hell of a player. I was told the day we bought him by a Munich fan that, like, oh, he's brilliant, but he's always injured, and that did come through. So
in the end, yeah, he did. But again, it's what fans. It's like social media. What fans. Again, it's the weirdness of fans online because they will say if a player's injured, he's a flop. But you don't
Yes,
look at
that's
the
it.
player.
He said he was a flop. He said he was a
Yeah,
flop.
because he's injured. No, I don't look at that. I look at when he played. Did he have more good games than bad games?
Yeah. What was his impact when he played?
Impact, yeah. If he had more good games than bad games, he's not a flop. He was just unlucky. Same
that
I say with
game,
Ox.
the
Same
game
I say
against
with Naby.
at Anfield. But
Yeah.
remember, we played United at Anfield when Rangnick was manager, and it was like, I don't know, 4-0 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 4-0, 5-1. Yeah. He played in it. Yeah, he played in a lot.
I agree with you on
5-1.
even going as far as to say with Naby, though, Nalante. I'd go as far as to agree with that. Naby, I mean, there was an argument, that Naby should have been a starter, and especially I'm trying to think of what was that. There was one point when people were clamoring for him to start, and I'm trying to think of what they had like a NFT. The NFT was the NFT midfield.
Naby, Thiago, yeah, and oh god, that's what that I told you before. That FA Cup semi-final against City in the 21-22 season was one of the best midfield performances I've seen. Fabio, NFT, they were sensational that day. But again, it's some of these weirdos online and some of these other fans that said, "Oh, he's mid, bro." They don't understand football. Like I said, you can't call a player mid if he's injured. Like I said, and I say the same for Ox and Naby. And when one disagrees, then you can go as 12 says nicely, hit some rucks. Yeah, they had. You compare with the player if they had more good games than bad games. If they had more bad games than good, they're a flop. But they have more good than bad games, regardless if they were injured. You can't call them a flop. You can't. So I will never sit here and Dabby's going to call Thiago. And sorry, I know I'm going on a bit, but Thiago, Ox, and Naby, I'll never call them a flop because they all were pivotal for us at different stages. They were just unlucky.
Yeah. I think it's more important to say what you contributed, or what was your impact when you were able to be on the pitch. That's that factors in very much so as to whether you're a flop or not. Injuries, you really can't control those things, and I would even go as far as to say what even made it more scandalous when I heard the City supporter trying to, basically belittle Thiago. It was brought up, well, he hasn't won anything. He didn't win anything with Liverpool. He was a part of the same Liverpool team that did a domestic double. He was a part of the Liverpool team that won a FA Cup and League Cup in the same year. That is no small feat, by the way, despite, the City fans acting as if, oh, who cares? That's not a big deal. I think that's a very big accomplishment. I think that, unfortunately for us, if Thiago, if we had the sheer blessings of Thiago maybe joining our team during his Bayern Munich years rather than after his Bayern Munich years, I think we're having a different conversation. Completely different conversation.
Yeah. I mean, City fans not paying him respect. I have to remember that Pep, brought him to Bayern Munich, didn't he? He was sort of like Pep's Rodri at the time, wasn't he? Brought him in and trusted him in that midfield. Like,
that's a great point, Lee. That's a really, really good point. Really good point. But yet these same City fans out here will try to make it seem like he was a flop and he was mid, as he was referencing him as. I just think that that's not really it's not really it's poor. It's very poor. And I think truthfully, I think it was Yeah. As Lee Wiske is saying, not just the double, but the he's saying not just the double, but the UCL final and a point off the title. Absolutely. That was the year that we also went for the quad, that we were in contention of winning the quad.
Yeah, he had a good game in the final.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Thiago, maybe we're a little bit further off the pace to do all those things. So, again, this is one of the reasons why I started wanting to be a content creator, so I can mix it up with some of these, I think, hams out there that just talk their mess and say their things sometimes for clickbait. Sometimes they actually believe it. I don't understand it. But yeah, not on my watch. That's how I see it. Thiago was an unfortunate player. I wish we could have gotten more availability out of, but I'm not going to beseech Thiago as a flop or as a player that didn't bring some type of real professionalism, whether on and off the pitch, by the way. He was definitely a leader in the locker room too. And you can tell the impact that he had with our team, considering how many players connected with him as well. And I would even go as far as the fact that Thiago is still connected to our Liverpool team, despite, what people might want to say elsewise. So, no, we haven't. I know, Norm, we have not. I saw that too. I don't. Unless Liverpool's moving to Turkey, I don't think we're going to be getting that signature. All right. Well, all right, my friends. That was my take on the top 10. You heard JK's, Lee's, and Allante's top 10 takes as well. I was hoping that Brian was going to be able to rejoin us, but it doesn't look like we're going to have that privilege, so it's all good. Thank you to Brian for joining us at all and giving us some contributions. Again, I appreciate contributions, even if your availability isn't always there. I still appreciate your contributions. I think that hopefully, if you have some difference in the top 10, please put it in the comments. If you think that, if you don't think we're going to be the pulse of the Premier League with this midfield, tell us. Agree with the list, disagree with the list. Think we disrespected someone or some team, surely tell us the same in the comments. Get it in the comments for sure. And be sure to, like, subscribe. I think what we're gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to make we have the Scouts in the House coinage that I referenced earlier. So now the other reference is going to have to work out the coinage for this one, but hopefully whatever number you see out there, even if it's for a brief second that you're going to watch the show, try to get us to 50 likes. So try to get us to our 50 cents, reference to the likes. Revisit, the ranking mid-season. We'll do that again. We'll figure out where we're at with if we were right, whether we're wrong. But until next time, as always, my friends, up the Reds. Let me say, Lee, do you want to say a shout before we bounce?
Just thanks to everyone. Good night, everyone. Thanks.
Okay. JK, you want to say a shout before we bounce?
Yeah, likewise, bro. Thanks for the chat. Always, Norman, Red Chili, Dara was up in there, Lee Kid.
Yes.
Top lads.
Shout out Norm in the house. Nalante, you want to give a shout before we bounce?
Yeah, big up everyone in the chat. And again, Norm, I will say it clearly. Have we signed Osherman yet? Is he still coming? He's coming.
Yeah.
After Ekatike, Osherman.
He's coming. Yeah.
He's coming.
Night all. Definitely. We will see you tomorrow. And until then, you'll never walk alone. Take care, guys.